It was 5 years ago tomorrow that Marine Lance Corporal Matthew Snyder was killed in a Humvee accident in Iraq. He was just 20 years old. His father, Albert, joins us now from York, Pennsylvania. Mr. Snyder, what was your reaction to today's Supreme Court decision?
I was kind of shocked. I can't believe that the Supreme Court today has now told us that we have no rights to bury our dead in peace. It's a sad day for our military men and women, their families. It's a sad day for all Americans. My first thought is, what kind of society have we become? It's easy for the justices to sit there and say that this is allowed, because if something happens to one of the justices or their children, they don't have to worry about this, because the Phelps will never get anywhere close to their funerals.
Are you surprised the decision was so overwhelming, with 8 out of 9 justices backing the protesters?
Yes, I was, Katie. It just, you know, they may be book smart, but they don't have the common sense God gave a goat.
In his opinion, Chief Justice John Roberts acknowledged your pain, but he wrote that, quote, "We cannot react to that pain by punishing the speaker." What do you say to that?
You can when it's targeted speech, Katie, and that's what this was. It was a personal, targeted speech against a private individual. They didn't even mention the private individual.
So you think there's no basis in the Constitution to protect these protesters whatsoever?
Now, I think everybody should be buried in peace. I think if our forefathers were alive today and saw this, we wouldn't even have to worry about this going to court, because they would have been put in front of a firing squad for treason.
Justice Roberts did suggest that local law enforcement could create buffer zones around funerals. Does that give you any comfort whatsoever?
Yes, it does, Katie. In that aspect, it does. And, you know, that's what the whole case was about. It was just, you know, protecting our military men and women's families. The buffer, as far as I'm concerned, you know, if the justices were burying one of their child, they wouldn't even have to worry about that buffer zone, because they'd never get anywhere close to the buffer zone. There's something seriously flawed with the laws in this country. There are other countries that won't even let these people on their soil, and we let them get 500 feet or 100 feet from a soldier's funeral. It's a slap in the face to all of us military parents. It's a slap in the face to our military men and women. And don't tell me that this is what our military men and women died for. They didn't die to give someone the right to target an individual
It seems to me,
and cause harm.
It seems to me, Mr. Snyder, that the message they're sending often has very little to do with the fact that a soldier has died in a war zone. They're trying to get attention. I mean, what is your understanding? Why do they do this?
For the media and the money. They sue, you know, now I will be responsible for their legal bills, and that's how they make their money. They're not a church. They're anything but a church.
They also protest at other funerals, not just of soldiers and other military personnel who have been killed in conflicts. They really protest at sort of any high-profile funeral, correct?
That is correct.
In an interview today, Margie Phelps, who's the lawyer for Westboro Baptist Church, actually thanked you for bringing attention to the church. What would you say to her?
Katie, I really have nothing to say to Margie. She's a very sick individual.
And as I mentioned, the church has protested outside many other funerals. What would you say to other grieving families today?
Well, there's not much we can do about it anymore. When the government won't do anything about it and the courts give us no remedy, then people are going to start taking matters into their own hands. And believe me, someone's going to get hurt, And when the blood starts flowing, let it be on the Supreme Court justices' hands.
Some people might say, as repugnant and disgusting as these protesters are and their placards and what they're saying, this unfortunately is the price of free speech in this country. What would you say to that?
Along with the price comes responsibility. And no one in the history of this country has ever done this before this group.
Tomorrow, I know, Mr. Snyder, is the 5-year anniversary of your son's death. This must be a very difficult time for you and your family. Tell us what you're remembering about your son today.
Just about how good a kid he was, how proud he was to be a soldier, how proud he was of America. And if he could see this, I don't think he'd be very proud of this country right now.
And where do you go from now? Where do you go from here, Mr. Snyder? Do you have any other recourse? Is there anything else you can do to fight this or to protest what these individuals have been doing to your family and to other families as well?
Well, Katie, there's not much left to do. We tried all the legal recourses, and at this time I just, get on with my life. It's been 5 years. It's been a long 5 years, and I'm tired. I'm ready to, I'm ready to get this over with.
And to try to move forward.
Yes.
Were you surprised? I'm just curious. Were you ultimately surprised by this decision?
Yes, I was. I was just surprised by the lack of common sense. We're in the middle of a war, and evidently, the justices and the government will send our children to war, and they'll send them back in body bags, and then they can't even give us enough respect to bury them in peace.
Albert Snyder, thank you very much for speaking with us, Mr. Snyder. We so appreciate it.
You're welcome, Katie.